Happy Wednesday, everyone. Every once in a while, someone shares with me that they don't know if God exists. And let me just say, I consider it tremendously flattering when someone shares that with me. I just think that's gotta be a scary thought to carry around, especially in Catholic circles. Like, if I'm already in the Catholic faith, who do I share that doubt with? How do I process this? I mean, maybe for some people it's not as scary of a thought, but for me, I think it would be. I might be wrong. But for this video, at least, I hope you don't mind if I just assume that there are people out there that doubt that God exists and that find this doubt to be scary and hard to share with anybody. And I want to make this video to say, I'm here for you. I believe in you, and I support you. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say something like everyone should just believe whatever they want to believe. As long as it's true for you, you'll be okay. There are a lot of people out there that believe that God exists, and there's a lot of people that believe that God doesn't exist. That means that some people are right, and some people are wrong. There's really just not much room around that. Some people are wrong about whether or not God exists. Go figure, when I say that I believe that God exists, I think I'm right. And for what it's worth, I've never actually doubted God's existence. But I have asked myself, why? As in, why is it that I've never doubted that God exists? Why is it that I so firmly believe? And when I started allowing myself to ask that question, because at first that question kind of scared me, when I started allowing myself to ask that question, Peter, why do you believe that God exists? I think that's one of the most helpful things that I've done for my life, for me, for this person right here. Because it's helped me grow in my sense of conviction in my faith. I do believe that God exists, and I can sort of fumble through an explanation of why I believe that. That's not something I was always able to do. And even though my answer kind of comes across as fumbling for words, it's an answer that satisfies me. And ultimately, looking for an answer that satisfies my own question was important to me. I'm not looking for an answer that will satisfy, a test question. Why do we believe that God exists? I can write down the answer right now. Great, but what answer satisfies me? Ultimately, I found an answer that satisfies me, and it's a bit of a tangent, but I'll share that story real quickly. So I've heard a lot of intellectual proofs that God exists, and I'm definitely a logical guy, I think. But oftentimes those arguments felt a little too detached for me. There's also a lot of people that talk about their testimonies and how they believe God exists because this happened in their life or this happened in another person's life, and they're good stories. They're wonderful. They're great proofs. For me, oftentimes they just didn't feel rigorous enough, especially when I started thinking about the placebo effect. So where do I turn? I'm looking for something that it looks like I'm looking for something that's both logical and feeling-oriented, and that's a little more uncommon in the world. Usually people talk in terms of logic or in terms of feelings. I need both. I just need both. That's just who I am. At least I need both if I'm going to find an answer that satisfies me. Other people are different, of course. I found something, though, that I enjoy, that I am able to grapple with. Once upon a time, I read Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, and he prompted me to start thinking about the word should. We talk about the word should a lot. Like, anytime that there's he said, she said drama, it's really ultimately a lot of people disagreeing on who should have said what to who. We use the word should. We make judgments. Some things are morally right, some things are morally wrong. And to me, it struck me, where does the sense of right and wrong come from? Some people talk about how our sense of morality comes from our culture, but I didn't find that was very satisfying. Some people talk about how our sense of morality comes from evolution, but I don't find that satisfying either. There's got to be more to it than that. Ultimately, when I look at morality, it just points to God. God knows what's good for us. He created us. And that's what gives us a sense of good and bad. That's what gives us a sense of should. In other words, so often we ask, how can God exist if there's evil in the world? And that's a great question. I love that question. I think about it a lot. Also, I just want to add another question to that discussion. How could good exist if God didn't? Where does good come from? Where does the idea of good come from? What makes something good? So that's all I've got. Maybe I overthink things. Maybe I said something that's helpful. Maybe I said nothing that's helpful. Let me know. All I'm trying to say is that it's okay to grapple with tough questions. I think that's really important. Also, I'm praying for you. I pray for all my viewers. All right, so thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked this video and would like to do me a favor, think of someone that you could share this video with, and then share it with them. That would mean the world to me, actually. You don't have to. That's just if you want to. I'm going to say goodbye. God bless and ciao. My hair's a mess. I'm backlit. This ceiling is like this far away from my head. Guys, this is quality YouTube entertainment. You're welcome. Who has a hairstyle like this? I love myself.